22nd November, 1:14 p.m. Supreme Court of Judicature, Courtroom Number 2. Hey guys, Lex here, back for some more of the Great Ace Attorney. Last time, I was guessing that Miss Brett poisoned the victim, and then Susato comes up with some evidence. Sounds illegal, but let's continue. Well, I understand. You are the judicial assistant to the defense, but why the sudden ingress into my courtroom?
Ah, a judicial assistant and a woman, no less? The rules state that females are not permitted into this court of law other than to testify.
Yes, I fully understand. I only ask for 5 minutes of time. I have some vital evidence that I must hand over to the defense.
Ha! You're too late, little girl. This trial has already been concluded.
5 minutes? I will not allow a moment more.
But, Your Excellency...
I am most grateful. Who exactly are you? I'm sorry, but there's no time. Please simply accept this for now. What is it? A report about something written in English? It's just Hale Brett's research. Huh, the Englishwoman's. After the trial resumed earlier, I hurried back to the university. I went to Dr. Wilson's laboratory in the medical faculty and borrowed this paper. Oh yeah, that's right. Miss Brett was studying under the professor, wasn't she? So does this research, whatever it is, have something to do with the case? I'm afraid I don't know. I haven't been able to listen to the proceedings of the trial myself. Oh no, of course not. Special characteristics of Curare and its effects on human subjects. Interesting. Curare? What's that? Never heard that word before. Yeah, same.
Time's up.
It's not even 3 minutes.
The prosecution demands the immediate removal of this female trespasser from the courtroom.
There was too little time for me to read it in detail, but I've surmised what I could on the note just inside the cover. If you think it could be valuable, please cast your eye over it. This is wonderful, thank you. Sale report has been entered into court. Goodbye then, and good luck. Forged evidence? You have had long enough, counsel. We cannot detain our English guest any longer. I'm gonna check it. Poison made from bark of certain trees. Hunter in the region have used it since ancient times to incapacitate their prey. Instant paralysis. Huh. And subsequent death, even in minute doses. The above-mentioned effect occurs when the poison enters the body through a wound such as inflicted by a blowpipe dart. Due to its ability to render the human body paralytic, it's believed that the toxin could have application as an anesthetic. However, a solution for the respiratory arrest caused as a result of full-body paralysis must be found first, or the patient would die of suffocation. When he got his dental work done, he got poisoned? But, I don't know. I'm still guessing the cup. There's traces of it on the cup. You've had enough, counsel. We cannot detain our English guest any longer. Ask the prosecution and the defense now, one last time. Does either side have any further evidence to present to the court? I presume not, but...
The prosecution has made its case convincingly enough already. Nothing more to add, Your Excellency.
Ryunosuke, we're out of options here. This is really our last chance. Yeah, I know. Your Excellency, the defense does have new evidence. That look. The unyielding stare of a true Japanese warrior. Well, Miss Brett?
Yes, Your Excellency?
If you wouldn't mind, perhaps you could grace us with your presence a little longer.
It's a delightful invitation, but I'm afraid it's not so very long until tea time. I'll politely decline.
Forgive me, Miss Brett. It seems I wasn't clear. I realized it was phrased as a question, however. I must ask you to treat that as an order.
I've said it many times before, but the Japanese language makes no sense.
My apologies, dear lady. So, Consul, what is this new evidence that demands the court's attention? The only new evidence? Miss Giselle Brett, we understand you were studying under Dr. Wilson at UMA University doing research. Research by sheer coincidence, perhaps, into a deadly poison.
What?
Poison. Where are you going with this, Counsel? A toxic known as Curare, Your Excellency. Even the slightest amount of this deadly poison entering the body leads to instant death.
Attention!
What? What complete and utter nonsense? Curare, you say? I've never even heard of it.
You wouldn't have done what?
What? What do you mean?
I mean that you wouldn't have heard of Curare before for one very simple reason. It doesn't exist in our country. It doesn't exist? Correct, which means no matter what tests the police can do for toxins, they'd never identify Curare. Why? Because there is no test available here that can identify the presence of this highly deadly poison.
What?
Order. Counsel, does this deadly poison truly exist? According to this report, authorized by the visiting student from England, Curare has long been used by the tribespeople of South America as a poison to lace their arrows. It seems that it's reasonably well known among European doctors and scientists.
To lace their arrows?
The report states that it is produced from the extract of a tree that grows deep in the Amazonian jungle, and it was first brought back to Europe at the turn of the century by explorers. Claims that animals shot by arrows laced with the curare suffer instant death. Doesn't that about sum it up, Miss Brett?
Attention!
Trumpery! These aspersions are utterly trumpery! To start with, if the victim had been administered some of this so-called deadly poison, plenty of squirming and writhing and pain, and the other diners would have surely noticed.
That is true. What do you say to that, Inspector? Obviously, I would have noticed a disturbance like that. I don't remember anything like that either. I didn't notice the professor being in any kind of pain, because he was instantly paralyzed, if I read the notes. According to this, however, it's the other way around.
What do you mean, the other way around?
The very fact that the victim didn't show any visible signs of distress is evidence that curare was used. Explain yourself, Counsel. The moment that this toxin enters the person's system, it causes instant paralysis. In other words, afflicted victims lose all strength and are completely unable to move. Even if they were in total agony, there would be no visible signs of pain at all. How terrible. Obviously, if a man lost all strength in his muscles, he'd collapse to the floor. But with a chair under him for support, as Dr. Wilson did, the effects could go largely unnoticed. But I don't follow, Kazuma. That's just paralysis. I thought the poison caused instant death. The full explanation of this is extremely unpleasant. The poison causes immediate paralysis, as I said, leaving the victim unable to move. But after a short time, the paralysis is so severe it causes the muscle that control respiration to fail. Respiration? In other words, the actual cause of death is suffocation. And all the while the victim is conscious and aware, just unable to move.
That's hideous.
To the observer, it looked almost like the victim was slipping peacefully into an endless sleep. But for the victim himself, his final moments would be a living hell. That is the true nature of this deadly Curare poison. Wow. And you're suggesting that this bottle, Counsel, actually contains this terrifying poison?
Objection!
This is all very convenient, isn't it? A hitherto unknown poison for which there is no means of testing. What a happy tale for the defense.
If I may.
All these facts you think yourself... Shut up! It is you who must be taught. Of course, dear lady. So, this is how you Japanese behave, is it?
What?
You steal another's honest hard work and then announce the result as if you discovered them. I'm appalled. What a loathsome act.
Well, Miss Brett, that feeling is mutual.
Whatever do you mean?
Capitalizing on an unfortunate circumstances of an innocent man to frame him for a heinous crime. That really is a loathsome act. Wouldn't you agree?
Objection!
Enough of this. I, for one, refuse to accept it. The idea of some poison that doesn't even exist in the great empire of Japan is breaking the rules. Ha 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 ha.
What's so funny?
Oh, excuse me, Your Excellency.
Yes, Miss Brett?
May I borrow that bottle for a moment, please?
Well, yeah, I don't see, why not? Other than you destroying the evidence.
Don't get too big for your boots, you insignificant little island boys.
Sorry.
To an Englishman such as myself, this whole affair is a farcical comedy. You little police games and these foolish courtroom antics, it's laughable, really. But I'm getting bored of it all now. It's time for the games to end. Cheers.
It's not the same cup. Wait, what are you doing? Brr.
No sparkle left at all. How appropriate for this shabby affair.
Hmm?
Goodness, Whatever's the matter? You all look quite stunned.
So, no curare. The bottle was clean. Is that what you're saying?
Ha 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 ha. You look quite incredulous, little boy. But of course, that's the simple truth. Thank you for presenting the findings of my research so concisely here in the grand venue, most kind.
Grr. I'm giving her like a southern accent now.
Thank you, waiter. Now then, Your Excellency.
Yeah, the spread.
I should like to be excused now, please. I think I've given more than enough of my time for the furtherance of friendship between our countries.
Yes, dear lady. We are most gratified with all the assistance you have given. Hold it! This doesn't make any sense. There had to have been poison in that bottle. So how did she? How did she swallow a whole glass and live to tell the tale? I don't understand it.
Well, I suppose if nothing else, this little Far Eastern charade will make for an interesting conversation at the next party I attend in London.
There has to have been poison in the bottle, doesn't there? But there can't have been, because of otherwise she would have kneeled or keeled over dead. Unless... Come on, Ryunosuke, we have all the clues now. That bottle of water contains no poison, because it was in the glass. As I thought, there is no poison in the bottle. What? Why, Ryunosuke? Isn't it obvious? If there was poison in there, she'd be dead by now. Sometimes your unadulterated naivety really astounds me. But sometimes it's in a good need of staining, until it is as dark as your uniform and the ways of the world. Was that what this color is supposed to represent? That was a guileless ending to a promising line of inquiry, counsel, for which you will be penalized. What? So it was poison? There. There has to have been poison in the bottle. But there can't have been, because otherwise she would have killed over dead. Come on, Ryunosuke, we have all the clues in now. Contains poison? The culprit did put curare poison in Dr. Wilson's carbonated water. The defense refuses to change its position. Let me check. Does it mix with something? Hunters, made from bark. Enters the body through a wound. Oh. So you could eat it, but since he had dental work, it was poison. You're serious?
Objection!
Fool, are you blind? There's no possible way that the bottle can contain poison. I mean, we just saw.
Miss Brett drinking water from it?
That's right, which rather complicates your argument, I think.
And I believe that complication can be explained.
How exactly?
I need to think through all the things that don't quite add up here, one by one. I'm sure the answer is in the evidence we have in the court record somewhere. It has to be. Very well. And if the defense truly intends to assert this claim, then I must ask you to support the assertion with evidence. What explains how the witness was able to consume this supposedly poisoned water unscathed?
Yes!
What? Really?
Oh man, I'm overthinking. That's not true. That has never happened before. I'll do my best. never examined this. Don't worry while I examine this. Ah, the symbol of UMA University. Every student wears a pin with pride. It's funny, but most emblems seem to be either round or rectangular. I like the spike design, even though it doesn't really make any sense. Although, it does cause problems. Lots of students end up cutting their fingers on their badges. Perhaps it was the idea of one of the founders. A sharp pin for a sharp mind or something. Cool. My number is engraved on the back here. If you lose your pin, they won't accept you at UMA student. You may not come in, they say. Of course, you can get a new pin made if you just tell them your number. I've actually lost mine twice already, but I still don't know my number by heart. I always tell myself I mustn't forget to write it down somewhere, but then I forget not to forget that. What, 901? How do you forget that? I use the report and then give the medical report afterwards.
Yes!
The answer to this riddle is right here in Miss Brett's own research report.
Attention!
That's not a valid explanation, no? After all, it's in English.
That's right.
We don't speak English. This report is other gibberish. This impudent young scoundrel is trying to ridicule the court, Your Excellency.
I'm not trying to ridicule anyone, honest. I'm just reading Susato-san's notes. I concur. This report is too extensive to be considered in its entirety by the court. You'll direct us to the pertinent section, counsel. Which section of the report reveals the alleged answer to the mill? What was the page with the root of entry? Okay. What page was that? Special characteristics. We've been hearing a lot about this Curare poison, and it's left me curious about something. Oh, counsel. Well, it sounds as though indigenous hunters have been using this poison for years and years to lace the heads of the arrows that they shoot at whatever prey they were hunting. So we've been led to believe, yes. And the point of hunting is to catch prey to eat.
Get to the point, please.
But if they were to use these laced arrows, doesn't that mean there would be traces of poison left in the prey the hunters were going to eat? Yes, that's a good point. Surely the hunters wouldn't want to eat their prey, would they? Because they'd be eating poison? Good gracious, counsel. No, that would be madness. But I actually found the answer to that conundrum in this research paper here. Under special characteristics, it says this. The poison starts to work after entering the body through a wound. Through a wound, you say? I see, that makes sense. Yes, the mention of that particular detail seemed a little strange to me, though. But it all makes sense when you interpret what's written like this. When Curare enters the body through an open wound, it has terrifying poisonous effects. However, when it enters the body through the mouth, it has no poisonous effects whatsoever.
What?
Miss Brett, you authored this research. You knew Curare's special characteristics, and you knew that you could make a spectacle of drinking the water without any danger to yourself.
You meddling little kids. Oh, it's alive! Rapscallion!
Well, Ryunosuke, turns out you're an even better lawyer than I thought you'd be.
Really? Me? A lawyer?
Attention!
Don't object to that. All of this poison talk is fascinating, I'm sure, but I fail to see how it possibly... Shut up! So, you, the ill-bred little puppy, has a new toy to play with. Some facts he read in a book. But I'm afraid that knowledge doesn't suit you, little boy. It only makes you look silly. What are you trying to say? Your schoolboyish logic has a fatal flaw.
Schoolboyish?
Flaw. As your brain has managed to deduce, curare is safe to ingest. It seems likely that its effects are neutralized by the acidic nature of gastric succus.
Oh yes, well, of course. Gastric suckers, whatever that is.
So if this lethal poison is completely harmless when drunk, the professor wouldn't have died when he swallowed it, would he? Ah!
Unless he had dental work done.
Dental work? That's right.
Good gracious.
That's basic science. Science that even a schoolboy should be able to understand, no?
Order in the court. Order. The logic holds. If the lady and the professor drank the same poison, they'd be affected in the same way. Are you trying to suggest?
Yes, the curare poison is completely irrelevant to the case on trial. That's right. Surely a little cockroach like you could understand something as simple as that.
Oh no, I see. This. Black and white. What is this welling up inside of me? I've never felt like this before. Sort of conviction to break down all the discrepancies. It's so intense, almost rage-like. And more than anything else, it's an animalistic desire to take down my prey.
Objection!
Oh, hell yeah. I don't think so, Miss Giselle Brett.
Oh, how dare you use that tone with me?
Know very well there's no fatal flaw here. You know exactly why, even though both you and the victim swallowed the same poison. You're alive, but Dr. Wilson is dead.
Huh.
Counsel, I'm sure I don't need to remind you. You must provide compelling evidence. As we now know that this poison is completely harmless when ingested. Why would Dr. Wilson alone have been killed by the curare? Got it. I was too early. Ah, Miss Brett so readily pointed out she drank the same water as the professor. However, there was a fundamental and fatal difference between the two diners. A fatal difference? Huh. The toxic effects of the curare are only felt when the poison enters the body through an open wound. So for a healthy person with no injuries drinking it, it is completely harmless. But what if there was a wound inside the mouth of the person drinking the poison water?
Inside?
Yes, like the wound you might have if you had just been to the dentist and had a tooth extracted, for example. Miss Brett, you've acknowledged many times in your testimony already that you were well aware of Dr. Wilson's dental appointment that day. So that's it. You used that knowledge to orchestrate this. Is she laughing?
I don't like to repeat myself, but honestly, I can't resist. These childish courtroom games and your half-baked arguments are all so puerile.
What do you mean?
Don't worry, little schoolboy. You'll find out soon enough.
Is she gonna murder me?
See, when you leave vital evidence lying around, You never know what might happen to it. No! I mean, you could just slip.
Tampering with evidence?
Oh dear, how careless of me. I'm afraid some crucial evidence may have just tragically been destroyed. No!
Go to your bag. What is it? What just happened? This English woman, she just smashed the bottle.
And in the Supreme Court, what a terrible blunder.
Officer, what are you waiting for? Collect up as much of Collect up as much of the water that was broken from that broken bottle as possible at once.
You're wasting your time. Delightful carpet under my feet here was a gift from the British Empire. I assure you, it will soak up the water beautifully. You have neither the technology nor the presence of mind to recover it.
How could you?
You won't get away with this. You can thump the bench and shout as much as you like, little boy. But I'm afraid you'll never know now, will we? If there really was a poison in the bottle or not.
You...
And let us not forget, we still have some very compelling evidence left intact. Isn't that right, counsel for the prosecution? Oh, yes, of course. You're referring to this photographic print, I presume, dear lady. That's right, and really, looking at this photograph, it's as clear as day, isn't it? The poor professor was sitting with his back to me. So of course, the only person who could have shot him from the front is the little schoolboy.
Objection!
No, you killed that victim that day using Curare. And then, in order to frame Ryunosuke Naruhodo for the crime, you waited until he picked up the pistol you'd arranged for him to find in the floor before you shot the professor dead. You shot the professor's dead body in the chest with your own hidden gun. Then, in the confusion that followed, all you had to do was turn the dead professor and his chair around. You see, you had every opportunity to commit the crime.
What a wonderful imagination you have, young man. A hidden gun, you say, and I shot the professor's dead body, did I? Well, I'm terribly sorry, but you don't have a shred of evidence.
That goose shot him. It's a lie.
Exactly. And as you have nothing to support your wild claims, the prosecution's stance remains unchanged. The victim, Dr. John H. Wilson, was killed by a gunshot to the chest. Delivered in cold blood by the accused Ryunosuke Naruhodo.
This is unbelievable. How can this be happening? We had her, but now, is she really going to get away with it? The way she destroyed that evidence was obscene. Ryunosuke. Yeah? We've come this far, but now you're the only one who could finish it. What? What do you mean? We've lost a vital piece of evidence, it's true. So if there are any clues left for us to use now, they must be in your head. In my head? You told me before you have the powers of observation, were the one thing you could really depend on. Well, yeah, that's true, but I didn't manage to notice that this woman was a foreigner with a swan in her head. So think back again now. Try to remember every last detail about the scene that day. Everything you saw, everything you felt, every color, every smell. What I saw, what I felt. Every color. Kamazuma, right? Somewhere in the vibrant memory of the same scene in my head? Could there be another clue to expose the identity of Dr. Wilson's killer? There's nothing. Actually, Kazuma, I think I might have something. Thinking back over everything I saw, I think I might have uncovered another clue. Ha ha ha. You always have something up your sleeve, don't you, Ryunosuke? Come on then, let's wipe that smug smile off that Englishwoman's face with some evidence. Alright, I can't wait. It's been niggling me for a while that something feels amiss in my memories that day. Whatever it could be, the key to arriving at the truth about all this is here somewhere. A clue that shows who Dr. Wilson's real killer must have been. The thing that just appeared right now.
Take that!
Inspector Hosonaga, answer me this. Yes? What is it? He's still miles away, probably thinking about that bottle being smashed. As you said a number of times now, you strive for perfection in your investigations, don't you? Absolutely. I wonder, therefore, if perhaps you took anything else from the scene of the crime. Like, for instance, the plate of the steak that you took to the victim's table that day?
Objection!
Wait a minute. What are you going to? Shut up! Where are you going with this, little boy?
It's just a memory that's been troubling me.
What memory?
I saw the scene shown in this photographic print with my own eyes that day. And I saw that on the wooden base of the plate that the steak was served on was a splattering of blood.
What? What? Oh, really? And what of it? Obviously, that must have happened when you shot the professor.
No, it cannot be the case. Take a good look at the photograph and the relative position of everything there. The plate of steak is almost directly behind the victim. If I'm supposed to have shot Dr. Wilson in the chest from the front, there's no way that blood from the victim could have ended up directly behind him. Yes. For blood to have made it onto the plate, it implies the plate was between the victim and the shooter. Which means the shooter must have been sitting opposite the professor as you were. Giselle Brett.
I beg your pardon?
Objection!
This is beyond ridiculous. Fabricated nonsense. Is the court seriously expected to believe something that the accused has apparently just remembered seeing?
Hold it!
Aha, he has the plate. This could be the moment my entire career in the police force has been leading to. Inspector, you mean? Yes, I took the plate in the interest of preserving evidence from the crime scene. I took it, meat and all, and I don't care if they call me a crime scene thief because of it.
You what?
I took the steak that you had been eating, Miss Brett. I took the steak that the sergeant had been eating. And I did it all in the name of justice. Justice. Then we can find out for sure whether or not there's a bloodstain on Miss Brett's plate. We must examine it now. Inspector, the court wishes to examine the plate from the victim's table immediately. Yes, sir. Sorry for the delay. Here's what you ordered, the steak. Well, what about the blood? Is there any blood on it?
Of course there isn't. Quickly inspect the blood, man. Show the court.
Of course, examine the plate at your leisure. Of course you wiped it. No, no blood. No blood anywhere. But no, that's
impossible.
I know I saw it. I'm sure of it. It was right there on the table behind the professor. There was blood on the side of the plate.
What an unbecoming expression, little boy. You see, this is why I always say you can't trust what the Japanese tell you. I couldn't agree more. In the case of this disgrace to the Empire.
I believe we have finally reached a conclusion in this trial.
Let's hope so. This let's pretend attempt at courtroom's proceedings is painful to watch. But I do promise to do my best to forget all about it when it's over.
Oh, how nice of her.
Ha! This sorry-looking steak reveals the facts all too clearly. If the sorry-looking accused wishes to examine it again, be my guest.
Thank you. Was the plate I saw or thought I saw just a figment of my imagination? This is it now. I've lost. Ryunosuke. Huh? What in the world is this? I think it's a Koban coin. And the hallmark is from Hoei, I believe. No, I don't mean what is it. I mean, what's it doing here? Wait, did you say it was a Hoei Koban? Yes, and apart from the meat juices, it looks to be in good condition. I imagine it's very valuable. This isn't the first time today there's been talk of a Hoei Koban. I've heard of pearls before swine, but I've never heard of bullion. Oh, and bullion. And I don't think you will ever again. This is extraordinary, though. This means... This emblem on the side of the plate. Is it a cat? It's a cow, obviously. Most likely because of the restaurant's signature dish, beef steak. Seems to have a lot of restaurants with their own tablewares. A small carvel. Ryunosuke. It's not over yet. Not until we hit the final gavel. Never stop believing in yourself. Keep looking forward, no matter what. Believe in myself? Really? Maybe I should at least examine the evidence myself. Or you did. As the evidence requested by the defense has not been shown to be problematic in any way, I presume any further examination of evidence in this trial will be unnecessary. Does the defense have any objection? That bloodstain was going to clinch the trial for me. Can this plate of steak reveal any other clues at all? There's another clue. Your Excellency, please wait. This plate of beef is hiding another clue. Another clue that will reveal the shocking truth.
Objection!
The only thing that's shocking here is your unhealthy fascination with beef steak. Your Excellency, I think I've made myself clear, haven't I? I will not be able to turn a blind eye to any more unnecessary procrastination in this trial.
Sorry, Miss Brett, but we must ensure a thorough examination of the evidence. I will not be giving out a ruling until I'm completely satisfied that all reasonable doubt has been dispelled.
I see. As a newly affirmed ally of my country, that's still your position, is it?
Thank you, Your Excellency. Counsel for the defense, you will now clearly show the court what you are alluding. Where precisely on the stake is this new clue to be found? Right here.
Got it!
Good gracious, that's...
Koban? What on earth?
a Ho'era one at that. Miss Brett, this is in fact the beefsteak that you ordered at the restaurant the day in question, is it? Tell me, why is there an old coin seemingly hidden underneath the meat?
Shut up! What a ridiculous question. How should I know? I've never seen that thing before in my life. I don't even know what it is. But I want no part of it.
Objection!
I fail to see how this is relevant. A coin underneath the meat? That could simply have been a careless mistake by a chef in a moment of distraction.
Objection!
Don't be absurd. We're supposed to believe that this happened by accident in the kitchen? A rare Ho'ei Koban just happens to be hidden underneath a piece of steak? If this turns out to be relevant in the case, I'll rip up my ticket to Great Britain right now. He's right. It can't be a coincidence. Your Excellency. Yes, Counsel. A rare Ho'ei Koban just appears to be hidden underneath a piece of steak. If this turns out to be relevant in the case, I'll give up my lawyer job right now.
Objection!
By all means, don't let us stop you. No one invited you anyway.
Shut up!
Perhaps, little boy, you should realize that this is you who is irrelevant.
Even though I'm the one on trial here? The point is, it's essential that we ask the owner of this coin if he can explain what's doing under this. The owner? Yes, it's obvious. There's only one person it could belong to. The owner of the Koban that was found underneath the beefsteak is... 23... 67... 16... We're a British exchange student who was studying...
Take that!
Obviously, it can only be the antiques dealer and the owner of Rasute Curio Korakuta-san.
Yuri, is Mr. Cumbersome something? Honestly, these ridiculous Japanese names are quite unfathomable.
Ah, yes, they are. The old man who testified earlier alongside the military sergeant, correct? Yes, Your Excellency. I remember him saying that he was up to something with his Koban coin when it happened. At exactly the moment the gun was fired.
The gunshot interested me not. I was far too busy on the floor.
Too busy on the floor? Sorry, what were you doing?
Hunting for treasure. Indeed, the Ho'era Koban, my prized coin.
Then this Ho'era Koban, do you mean to tell me?
Objection!
No, please, why would Korakuta-san's Koban be sandwiched between the beef steak and its plate? It makes no sense.
Yes!
Which is why I'm asking you to bring Korakuta-san back to the witness stand so we can ask him. Officer, bring both witnesses that testified earlier back in here, without a moment's delay. Alright, I think I'm gonna stop here, and next time we'll continue the case. I'm guessing that it'll finish within the next 2 episodes, so don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. See ya.